Hello, citizens of YouTube. This is the Geeky Nerd here, and today we're going to be talking about refinishing a gun woodstock. And before I begin, I'd like to send a big thank you out to everyone who has liked, commented, and subscribed on the previous videos. Always appreciate it and always enjoyed talking to you guys. And if you're new here to the channel and enjoy this type of content we have here, welcome, and please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. And with the PR out the way, let's get into it. So, as you see here, we have an HKG3 stock, which is part of my making a modern STG 44, otherwise known as a Sturmgewehr 44, and taking a PTR 32, which fires a 7.62x39. It's essentially a G3, but smaller caliber, and roller delay blowback, which is a little bit better for the 7.62x39. And one part of the build that, of course, you have to do is, in order to make it with that modern STG 44, is going with the wood stock. Now, I picked this up from hkparts.net. I believe it was for about $150. The cool part is it actually comes with the enhanced buffer, which essentially is a little bit of a stiffer spring here. And there is a secondary spring damper inside that is a bit heavier and a bit longer, so it actually starts to interact with the recoil of the gun sooner, so that way it's less recoil. But one thing about the stock is that it came in very good condition. This is obviously, this would suffice fine for most people. However, trying to make it look as new as possible. And again, if we were talking about modern STG 44, if it came out the factory, it definitely wouldn't have this stock on here if they made it today, as far as finish-wise. So, essentially, I'm not going to be showing you every single step because there's a lot of just, you're literally watching paint, or stain dry, I should say. And there's a little bit of intermediate steps. So I'm just going to cover the basics. So as you see, you have your stock. First thing you want to do is make sure you tape around all the metal bits. That just prevents any abrasion coming from the sander so you don't have to reblue anything. Secondly, it just makes the job a lot nicer and neater, especially when you're doing the stain. Now, these ones I couldn't cover up, but these ones ain't going to be too big of a deal. They've already started to kind of wear off a bit, but I'm going to do a cold bluing on those anyway with Q-tip, and I'll show that here in a moment. But what you're going to need to do this is a little foam brush here, just so you can apply the stain. Your specific stain of choice. I just went with a dark walnut here, penetrating wood stain. That way it gets deep down in the wood. Also, I went with dark walnut just because I figure it would go better with the aesthetic of the gun itself. You can do a lighter one, but I prefer a little bit of a darker wood. And this just happens to be the head attachment for my Black & Decker Matrix, just an old mouse sander, because I have a lot of sanding blocks, but then this just makes it a lot easier just to kind of go over the entire gun. Now, you can see I already started to just did like a quick little test run. You can see that you're pretty much going to get off that original finish. It does have some nice wood underneath. You're also going to go into, of course, get all like the little nicks, dings, bangs, and things like that out of the gun as you're doing them. So this is essentially how you're going to want to start. I'm going to do a jump cut here after it's all been sanded, and I'll see you guys here in a second. Hey guys, so we are back here through the magic of time editing. Video editing, I should say. So you can see the stock. Here's where we got it. So it has like a nice blondish finish. Definitely smooth to touch. For at least removing these initial finishes, I didn't do anything lower than a 220 grit. So 220 pretty much took it down to where I wanted it. And you can see there, it did take a little bit of the metal, but like I said, I'm going to re-cold blue those. Got it nice and smooth. Overall, you really can't feel anything. Just from cursory glance, imperfection with your hand. You can still see there are a little bit of battle scars on there, but I'm okay with that. I think it gives a little bit of personality, a little bit of character. We could go a bit deeper, but I think for my purposes, this is going to do just fine. One important thing I do want to note is you want to make sure when you're sanding this, you go with the grain, because if you start going across the grain, you're going to get some cross hatching, and it's just going to look like crap. So you can see there, that's pretty much where we have it. And of course, the stain is going to cover up a bit of the imperfections here. So essentially that. Next, we're going to take your stain, give it a good little shake, mix it up, do whatever you like. And you can wear gloves for this. Just going to do it ad hoc. As you can see, we got rid of our Glock mat here. I put down some paper because it can get messy a bit. Now, one thing I do also want to add here is you want to make sure they have something propped up or something to be able to prop this up or hang it or hold it. I'm going to take this off camera and basically just stick a coat hook through this and stick it in the closet and just let it hang dry there for a sec, of course, with a piece of paper underneath. But essentially, take your stain, and then you're just going to lightly apply it just, throughout with the grain. Give it about, I'd say about 15-20 minutes per coat, and I'm going to do approximately 2 coats. I might do 3. I'm going to see how it looks after 2, and I'll be right back. Hey guys, so I'm back here. You can see this is after with the dark walnut. We're about 2.5 coats. First coat, kind of put it on there. Then of course you have to wipe it off, but that's kind of the initial stain. Came back with the second one. And then the third one, that first one I consider a half one, to actually let it dry. So you see there, it's still in the drying process, but definitely has a nice coloration to it. Definitely a lot darker than what we were originally working with. There you go. You can see some of the lines here. And this is still drying, so you want to let this dry for at least about 2 hours before, applying anything extra. Second phase we're going to do is we're going to apply some, or actually the third phase, because we did the sanding one, is you're going to apply this True Oil gun stock finish. This essentially, take it a little bit on your fingers, a little bit on a tiny rag, and then you can pretty much wipe it across the entire surface of the stock. And this is going to give it protection, because you can have it with just the stain, but then the wood has no protection against any kind of the environment variables, unless you go with like an oil-based stain. But it's always a good thing to have. So after you apply this, then we're going to rock this stock sheen and conditioner. This is going to basically finish off, kind of smooth out any edges that are on the gun stock, and get it looking as picturesque, perfect as possible. It'll kind of even out some of the imperfections that are in the finish inherently. And yeah, I'm going to apply the True Oil finish here. And I'll see you guys in a second. It's probably going to be next day that I'm going to cut this in, so hold on for a jump cut. Okie dokie, guys. So you can see this is the end product after about, I'd say about 24, I'd probably say about 36 hours, give or take. You can see the kind of mess that has accumulated since then. And I did start using gloves just because I was done having my hands feel sticky. But you see here's the finished result. I've got a little bit of oil on there, but that ain't no biggie. You can see we got a good amount of the marks and kind of imperfections out of the wood. This is, of course, after using the True Oil to basically get that sheen. After that, also, I use some triple aught steel wool to basically get that finish down to more of a satin-esque finish instead of a shiny finish, because when you first put it on there, it will give you the mirror finish, but I was looking for more of a matte, kind of slick, soft to the feel. It also smooths out the finish. I mean, this is as, don't know if you can hear it, but it's as smooth as a baby's bottom. And after you do that, took that conditioner, basically just rubbed it in, made about 3 or 4 passes there, and that kind of evened it out. You see there's just a little bit, that's the actual oil, that's not any part of the finish there, but you see the finished product. And this gun stock is good, ready to go, ready to go on to the finished rifle, which I will be showing in another video when I do the full review on that. So you want to see the finished product as it's all together, wait for that to come on out. But yeah, pretty simple, guys. All in all, actually time on the job took probably about 3 hours in total. The rest was just waiting for drying. Also, you don't want to rush this. I mean, you don't want it to take extra long, you don't want to try to speed it up by using like a heat gun or anything like that, because the finish just kind of starts going to hell and back in a hand water. But again, really nice finish, really nice feel. I really always try to go for the satin just because I really like the feel with the rest of my guns, and this will go perfectly well with my Kar 98K. With that, I hope you guys found this video helpful. Kind of just a quick snap as far as the different steps and general process. Again, I didn't want to just kind of show the full thing because it would be about, like I said, 36 hours long. I'm not sure YouTube will let me upload. But if you enjoyed the video, please consider liking, commenting, or subscribing. If you have any kind of questions or anything like that, or any additional helpful steps that you maybe have for being a woodworker as opposed to just a kitchen gunsmith like myself, then put them down in the comments. And I hope everyone is having a wonderful, awesome, fantastic day. I'll catch you guys next time. See you guys.